everyone. My name is Parsho Dugar. I am a chartered accountant. I recently qualified in July 2022. I gave CAT this year and I scored 99.13 percentile. In LRDI and quants, both I scored more than 99 percentile. And I prepared for properly for around 3 months full time. And that is how I was able to achieve this. Apart from this, I am also cleared the first level of the CFA program. And having an interest in finance, I want to pursue an MBA further. So that's my academic background. So it was in August, around the 20th of August, that I decided that I want to take this year's CAT. So when I decided, I took around 10-12 days firstly to figure out from where do I have to study. So I researched a lot on YouTube, on various different sites, asked my seniors and colleagues, and then kind of figured out a plan at least as to what resources I'm going to use and what are the tentative timelines where I have to complete certain tasks. So I started my preparation properly, like actual preparation on 1st September 2022. So it took me around 3 months of preparation to score this percentage. I'll go first with quants because it was pretty simple. So I have been strong with maths since my childhood. So it was not like it's unlike a non-engineer actually, but still I was very strong in mathematics. So it was more of revisiting those concepts and understanding the fundamentals. And what I did was, firstly, I saw a lot of concept videos, cleared whatever misconceptions I had or whatever concepts I wanted to clear. I first cleared everything. And then as and when one chapter I see the concept video, I go and solve around 50 questions of that. So there were I used to do 2 rounds. So there was round 1 where I do the first 50 questions. Then I mark which of them I could not solve or which of them I feel are a little more important. The next time I should revisit them. So when I go to the second round, I solve the next 50 questions. I also revisit some of those 50, around 8 or 10 questions, which I feel were either tricky or I could not do. So what that builds is the important concept get stored in your brain. And secondly, for quants, which the most important thing for me, which helped me, was creating a formula book. So after every chapter that I complete, I used to note down all the formulas that I've learned. And also after every mock test or any past question I encounter, I would note down the concept of that formula. So then what happens is when you take the next mock or when you're revising, it becomes very easy for you to have all of it at one glance. And in that formula book, you don't solve any questions. It is just the formulas, crisp, around 50 to 100 pages book. So that is what I did. And also, like, you solve any question via normal method. But if you see this in the mock solution, you find that, oh, this can be solved in a very crisp way. I could have saved time. So in that case, then you also note that shortcut down so that it will save time the next time it comes in your, you encounter that. So that was one of the major things that helped me in quants. Talking about LRDI, frankly, for LRDI, there is no syllabus. So it's all about how much you can practice, how many different types of set you can see. So for me, what I did was, when you see a set, what is the first thing that you do? So first, most important thing is set selection, and that comes with practice. So I used to scan, like in the first 2 minutes of the LRDI section, I used to scan all 4 or 5 sets, whatever are there, and I used to decide the order in which I want to attempt. Spending those 2 minutes make your other 38 minutes very important. That is what I used to do. And secondly, the most important part of an LRDI question is how do you represent the data? See, LRDI, you have to understand, is about processing what data is in front of you and coming to a logical conclusion so that you can answer the following questions. So for that, you need to be able to represent the data in an accurate and crisp way, which will save you time. So that is what I learned. Why practice only? You solve more sets, you see the solution set, you come to why practice? You develop this thing that, okay, this is the better way to represent this data. That is very important in LRDI. So I did one like a mini formula book kind of thing for LRDI as well. So in my LRDI notebook, the first 15 pages I kept blank. Whenever I encounter and set, and I feel that this was something tricky which I was not able to think of during the exam, I used to note that line. So next time when a similar set comes, you can implement that strategy that you discovered in the previous mock. So that helped me a lot. And I used to solve this. Whenever I used to solve a LRDI set, I used to use this technique I used to solve with a pencil first. Now, if I was able to solve with a pencil, well and good. This means that even in the first attempt, I could solve with the pencil. So if it comes in the exam, I can solve it again. But if I was not able to solve with the pencil, I used to correct it with a pen and write it down so that when I'm revising for the next time, it is clearly evident as to what has to be my focus area and what I have to highlight. So that in that way, I was able to revise also LRDA very easily. And the one of the most important source for LRDA preparation is solving previous year questions papers. So from 2017 to 2021, I solved all slots, all LRDA questions, and you then develop a sense of what exactly are the type of questions that are asked in LRDA in CAT. So this was some of the tips and strategy that I had for LRDA. In quants, I attempted 17 questions. I got 14 right, 3 wrong. And in LRD, I attempted 10 questions. I got 1 wrong. Sorry, 11 questions. I got 10 right and 1 wrong. Firstly, you have to understand that you have to mocks are going to be your biggest source of learning. So don't wait for the entire syllabus to get completed before you start giving mocks. So even by the month of, let's say, March or April, you can start giving 1 mock every 15 days, and then by slowly try to increase the frequency to once a week. But what mocks do is they make you realize what your weaknesses are, and they also help you experiment with strategies. So like a lot of students for VARC, they struggle with the strategy. So mocks are the thing that will help you actually understand what you are good at. Like, are you good at the verbal ability questions? Are you good at the reading comprehension question? What you should attempt first? What you should attempt last? And so like I have one tip for people who are not good with English. So if you don't know a lot of words, if you don't have a good vocabulary, there's nothing to worry about. You don't need to mug up words. What you do is you read more and more stuff. You read novels, you read newspaper articles, you read the previous year CAT RCs, and whatever word you don't know. So what I did was I used to write these words on a post-it note, and I used to post it on a chart paper. So what I used to do every day I wake up, I used to just glance through the new words that I've learned in the past week or past month, and then they get registered in your brain. You don't have to learn them separately. They just get registered in your brain because you're looking at them every day. So that is one strategy that I would recommend for people who are not good with English and they believe that, I'm not good with vocabulary. This is what you can do. And while planning for CAT, just remember you have to start giving mocks and understand your strengths and weaknesses, understand what strategy you're going to follow, and create a timeline. At least try to complete all the syllabus before 1 month of the exam, and keep the last month just to increase your percentile. Like, do those small tricks and tips that you can use and not focus on completing the syllabus. So even with the 3 months that I had, took around the first 70 days I took, and the last 20 days was just improvising on strategies. How I can be better at this was my focus, and not really completing the syllabus. So that is what I would recommend to everyone else.
And I just wanted to know what is the class 12th stream like? Was it commerce or science?
No. In 12th, I had science.
Yeah. Okay.
And I had scored 100 out of 100 in maths actually. So my maths was actually very strong. But I had an inclination towards finance, so I decided to shift from science to commerce and come do my CA degree.
So first of all, congratulations
Thank you.
For your score, and all the best for your next step.
Thank you.
And my question is, what was your daily routine for the 3 months that you prepared?
Okay, so
how you divided the whole day for the preparation, and how much, what was?
Okay, so I'll distribute this into 2 phases. So before my CAT admit card came out, I am a person who studies well at night. So I used to stay up late at night and study. But once my CAT admit card came out, I got the morning slot. So I had to change my entire sleep cycle and accustom myself to getting up at 7 in the morning, and then freshen up my mind to from the time of 8:30 to 10:30. So every mock that I took in the last month, it was like either I used to take a sectional or a mock. It used to be from in the same time, 8:30 to 10:30. After that, I would take a, let's say, half an hour or 1 hour break, have some breakfast, do something. And then I used to analyze that mock immediately. So one thing which is very important for mocks is the time between you've given your mock and the time between when you analyze it, it should be the minimum possible. So it's not always possible that you can analyze after 2 hours because there are a lot of restrictions. But if you can, it's the best. So because then you know why I chose this answer and why this question is wrong. So that is what I used to do. It would take me around 2 to 3 hours for analysis, and then I would have my lunch at around 2:30. And I used to take an afternoon nap for around an hour or two, and then again at 5 o'clock I used to start revising or solving some new questions and anything that I feel is in my schedule. Like let's say sometimes it would be reading like 4 RCs from a previous mock that I had given. I'd marked this that I would do, or let's say solving some LRD sets that I had marked. Something which is not really new, and that is what I would try to do in the last month, 1 month of my preparation. And from 5 to 8 is what I would study, and 8 o'clock I would not touch a book after 8 o'clock. But if you ask me previously, yes, I would study, let's say around 8 hours a day, 6 to 8 hours a day, because I had very limited time. And I would make sure that the first thing that I pick up is the one that I'm weakest at, that was VRC. The first 1.5 to 2 hours of my day would be proper, either reading some comprehension, solving some parajumble, solving some parasummary question, or reading some article. I would spend the first 2 hours of my day for VRC. The next 2.5 hours of the day, LRDA. And since I was good with quants and I could concentrate on it at any time of the day, I would try to pick up quants at night around 12 or 1 o'clock. And then I would solve those questions listening to some music, and because I was very comfortable with it. So that is how I would kind of divide my day into parts.